Yes, it's been an exciting moment, honestly, being here. These topical issues cannot be, of course, wished away because they are nagging issues and the size, of course, what becomes the fate and the future of the Nigerian state. We cannot continue to live in denial, in self-deceptions, while, of course, critical issues, of course, continue to get out of control. The reality is that the government of this current dispensation is not living up to responsibility and should not be living in denial, because the reality is that Nigerians are suffering. And how could the unemployment rate become 4.1 just overnight without any, of course, job being created, without any facility being built to absorb the teeming populations of the youth who are roaming the streets of Nigeria without any source of livelihood. Not considering, of course, the underemployed personalities of population of this country. Of recent, multinationals are winding up because of the unfavorable policies of the government. They could no longer cope, of course, with the cost of running their businesses within the Nigerian, of course, business sphere, and that is quite unfortunate. And of most recent, you saw even most Nigerians organizations or private sectors are winding up. They have reduced their work hours to 3 hours, of course, within the day because of the inability to sustain the cost of running their businesses. Most businesses are out of place, and unfortunately, people are finding it difficult to survive. You cannot continue to live in this denial and think people should be taken for granted. The reality is that for government to work, for people to be employed, there must be, of course, decisive effort by the government and deliberate effort to create opportunities and enabling environment for people to harness, of course, their potentials to the growth of the economy. But that could not be done only by mere propaganda or on paperwork. Why is the refineries not working? We have about 4 refineries. Why is not even one working? And people are being enrolled, are being paid on monthly basis, collecting salaries as MDs and managing directors of these refineries, and workers without any productivity. Who are we deceiving? How long shall we continue to wallow in this self-deception without any recourse towards the danger it portends to the society and, of course, to the posterity? Unfortunately, Nigeria is just building an army of resistance, an army of rebellious youths who might, of course, turn against this country anytime soon, because we are just sitting on the time bomb, because considering the rate of poverty and the frustration within the Nigerian politics, it is high time for the government to have everything of its policies and approach to addressing the myriads of problems bedeviling us. How can we keep crucial issues untouched until disaster looms? Unfortunately, the disaster is here with us, and which I call the Odachi. And how can we get out of this wood becomes an endless resource. And for investors on multinationals to have confidence in the Nigerian economy, there must be a respect for the rule of law. That starts with how the government, of course, decides to respond to the court injunctions or rulings bordering on economic and, of course, political issues. For instance, Martin Nandekano, who has been held under detention for, of course, offense which has been vindicated by the appellate court of Nigerian jurisdiction, is yet being held behind the bars for no any justifiable reasons. And this, of course, is sending a very negative signal to the Committee of nations that Nigeria is such a country, a society that have no regard or less regard, of course, for the rule of law. The court has given their position that he should be released unconditionally, of course, without any recourse, but yet the government or executive are yet to comply to these directives of the court. Their own court, I mean Nigerians appellate court of law, are giving a verdict in favor of a man who is presumed innocent, having struck several account charges levied against him. Is still being held behind the bars. What an irony, what a shame. But if we must be honest to ourselves, it is high time to begin to tell ourselves the truth, that you cannot build a system that can be trusted by all and sundry if you are not sincere and your approach to issues and how such issues have been addressed, especially when it borders on innocent people or people who are not within your political promise. Well, this is a thought, of course, I'm leaving for everyone to reconsider what you think should be done at this time when Nigerians, even the dollars, is having a free fall. And yet, unfortunately, the government is claiming that the unemployment rate is 4.1. How does this magic happen? Let the government tell us how he came about with this position of these statistics when millions of Nigerians are wallowing without any source of livelihood. Millions are even being retrenched by virtue of the fact that multinationals and, of course, conglomerates companies are leaving the shores of Nigeria because they are no longer finding it very easy, the ease of doing business in Nigeria. I think these are areas the government of this country will also have some rethink and talk to themselves in a language they should, of course, understand that there is a time bomb and that is ticking, and nobody knows when that will explode, considering the height of insecurity across the regions of this country. No place within Nigeria is safe, and that should inform, of course, a better wisdom for the political class, because when you destroy the fabric of the systems of this country, you will have no place, of course, to hide. Why? Because no place to be called your home. But if Nigeria will continue to wallow in this abject poverty, in this retrogressive move, and endless poverty for the masses, I am of the opinion that the country will divide, will split. If that will engender prosperity for the regions, let this country, of course, be splitted into 6 regions if that becomes necessary, or 3 regions, to ensure adequate coordination. And if regions should decide, of course, how to manage their resources and grow at their own pace, like than being together and being trapped in this quagmire, in this wheel of motionless, and that is not having any issue. Rather, it is aggravating the situation, leading us to an irreversible end that may not, of course, be void of more disastrous or catastrophic consequences. But I leave it, of course, for you to make your comments at the comment sections. Let's know what you think is the way forward for this country. Are you supporting my candidate opinion that this country should be split in 3 regions and let each region, of course, manage their resources, of course, control their own resources and develop at their own pace, and create jobs and wealth for the teeming populations of that regions, rather than sticking together in poverty, in the wheel of motionless and despair. I leave you with this thoughts, of course, until the next edition. I remain Chigozie Ndibo, wishing you all the best until the next edition.